Good morning. Welcome to EFT and Louise Hay. There'll be a little bit of background noise because we've got lots of puppies in there and they're on their puppy training process, but I got miles to go before I sleep, so I got to get things done today. January the 17th, Louise says, I see myself through the eyes of love. How does that feel when you hear that? I see myself through the eyes of love. It's very easy for us to love other people. It's very easy for us to direct our love at others. It's often difficult for us to love ourselves. And if you've followed me very much, you know that there's mirror work that can be done. We're going to talk about the mirror work right now. So Louise Hay had a business partner named Robert Holden. And if you've read any of Robert Holden's books, they're absolutely delightful. They're so kind, they're so nourishing. But this is a conversation between Louise and Robert Holden. The first time I did mirror work was not easy, Louise says. What happened? Robert Holden asks. I looked for flaws, and I found plenty of them, she says with a smile. Oh, my eyebrows weren't right. I had too many wrinkles. My lips weren't the right shape. There was a long list. Were you tempted to stop doing mirror work? Yes, but I had a good teacher who I trusted, and he helped me to feel safe in front of the mirror. He pointed out to me that the mirror wasn't judging me. It was me who was judging me. Therefore, I didn't need to be afraid of the mirror. So you stuck with mirror work? Yes. And after a while, I began to notice the little miracles, said Louise. What do you mean? Well, traffic lights seemed to turn green just for me, and good parking spaces would appear in places that were normally impossible. I was in the rhythm of life. I was easier on myself, and life was getting easier. Does that sound like it's kind of a strange thing? If I'm easier on myself, life gets easier? Well, the first person that we brush up against is ourselves. And we took messages as children, as newborn babies growing up. We assimilated messages because we had to learn how to act within the relationships that we were in, so that we would be pleasing, so that we would be fed, and that we would be cared for. If anybody's ever had and engaged with a baby that is inconsolable, you know how difficult that can be, because we want everything to be happy and peaceful. And so as we deal with inconsolability and our own impotence in not being able to help somebody else balance themselves into peace, all kinds of emotions come up. And so we learn from from babyhood how to regulate our emotions so that we can balance ourselves in the world. And some of us do it better and put in things that are important at the time, but now as we become adults and we are now still running on those perhaps pleasing patterns, extra pleasing, extra pushing, not using our voices, not speaking up the things that we need to, receiving emotions and not letting them go, resentments, anger, all kinds of things. It's life. It is the way life works. And as we get older, we can start to decide, oh, do I need that emotion anymore? Yes, we need all of the emotions. That was a slip of the tongue right there. Yes, we need the emotions. We need every emotion that we've got, every emotion that's available to us. That is the key. We think that we are supposed to put away certain emotions that are negative. Good girls aren't angry. Good boys never cry. And so we chop off parts of what it really means to be a human being. As we receive all of who we are and all of what we feel, the happy, the sad, the angry, the ugly, the disgusted, the joyful, the peaceful, the silly, as we receive it all and balance it all, we then have it all. And so when we are vibrating at a much more balanced manner, everything around us actually vibrates at a more balanced manner as well, which is why we get the parking spaces and the lights and the convergence that settles things in and has things align and brings in the right things for us at the time and brings in something to teach us something, and then we let it go. As we learn to breathe and be with life and receive life as it is, it becomes easier, actually, quite easier. How does the EFT, emotional freedom techniques, the tapping, come into that? Well, when we store things in our bodies, and we store those old belief systems because they stay in our bodies. That's where they sit. It's just the way it is. The body is the subconscious mind. And so as we store them in our bodies, and then we start to realize, oh, I have a blockage here. Oh, I'm aware of this now. The tapping can release it. So as we tap on our karate chop point, and I'm developing classes on my website. My next one is going to be the in-depth EFT class, which will have a number of different modules, which will teach you the actual science of this in a sequential manner. But for the moment, as we tap on our karate chop point here between the heel of our wrist and the little finger, place where you go hi-ya, chunk, and karate chop a board. So we tap on that. This is where we feel all of what we would maybe call the negative emotions or the contracting emotions. I prefer to call them contracting. So here's where we feel the anger, the sadness, the disgust, the grief, the whatever feelings that are intense and aren't as comfortable, perhaps. And so let's just work with disgust at the moment, even though that was absolutely disgusting. Whatever it is that you feel that might be disgusting. It's okay to feel all of what I feel, and my emotions are all valid. So here we're feeling into that big emotion, and we're also validating the fact that it's okay to have that emotion. And when we do that, the intensity of the emotion can shift and adjust to where it needs to be based on the circumstance right now. So what might feel like a lot of disgust as we feel into it might actually increase, because we're going, have you ever had a conversation with somebody where we go, I was so upset about that, and they go, yeah, me too. And then all of a sudden you start talking about it and you get it all out, but then you talk about it and it starts to go shh and dissipates because you've given it life and you've allowed it to move. So even though I'm totally disgusted about that, it is okay to feel how I feel, and my emotions are all valid. And I can already feel my body relaxing, and I can feel the intensity of saying, even though I was completely disgusted, that was just putrid. Oh, how that worked was just gross. Now I feel the intensity in my body, even though I'm role-playing at the moment. It's okay to feel how I feel. And I am a good person with all of my feelings. And as I say that, my body relaxes and calms. So what the tapping does, and then as we move to the different points, and again, I will teach that in a class. What the tapping does is allow the body to move those emotions, because when we're tapping, literally tapping into the amygdala that tends to hold things and puts us into fight, flight, freeze, or please. And so as we tap, we're sending a message to the amygdala that it's okay to relax, because we wouldn't be tapping if a saber-toothed tiger actually was running at us. We would be running. We would be taking that action, and then our feet would actually be tapping. And as we take that physical action to release the emotion, if we have to run as far, if the tiger then goes away and we miss the tiger, the fact that we ran and we tapped our feet, the bottom of our feet and we pumped our arms and we moved our adrenaline, we moved the chemicals through us, and we came back to a place of rest. If we did not move, and that's the problem with our society today. There's so many things that bring us anxiety and fear and anger and all those things, but our bodies do not move. Unless you go to the gym and you specifically, I remember when I used to run, after about 3 or 4 minutes of running, it's kind of settled into this space of, okay, there's the rhythm. It was a moving meditation, and I could just feel things release and loosen and release and loosen and release and loosen. I remember I was going out on a 14-mile run one day. I was training for marathons. And I had this burning question that I was asking the universe. I needed an answer to this question because I had a catastrophic event in my life, and I wanted to understand why and what my part was in that event. And as I was running, I was probably first covered maybe the first 2 miles. I remember exactly where I was coming down a hill when the download came from the universe as to why that was going on and what was happening in that situation. And I remember specifically saying, do I need to finish the other 12 miles of this run now? And I continued on and did the rest of the run. But the rest of so the download came, I got the information, and then the rest of the run, the tapping of my feet, the rhythmic movement, the rest of the run settled that into peace and settled that into strength, personal strength, and settled that into calm. And I took that into my daily life. It was wonderful, and it continues to be wonderful. So I hope that this helps you at all. RoxyWright.com is my website. Go over there and have a peek at the offerings that I have there right now. We're doing some refinements to it. It's coming across. In the next probably 10 days, I will have the EFT class set up. And I also have some online Louise Hay work that I'm going to be offering as well. So pop over, have a look, check us out, and I'll see you again tomorrow. I love you.